Welcome to the Ben Dana Podcast, where we're calling a spade. The Dudley boys, Kennedy Carter, Angel Reese, were back in action tonight against the Phoenix Mercury. And yes, they lost. Yes, Angel Reese had the worst plus minus on the entire Chicago Sky team. She had 19 points, 20 rebounds. I wanted to see the 2020, selfishly, but I got to keep it in its proper perspective. Useless, meaningless stats. Didn't help the Chicago Sky do anything positively. All it did was get Angel Reese 19 points, 20 rebounds. Minus 17, the worst plus minus on the Chicago Sky team, as I mentioned. She had another record, the fastest player to reach 20 double-doubles in a single season. Okay, that's cool. But folks, what I want to talk about is this game right here. Do you remember when the New York Liberty faced the Chicago Sky?
Is off.
This was the game that the New York Liberty said, you know what, I'm done with the stat padding. I'm done with the double-doubles. I'm done with everybody bending over backwards just to get you your record. This was the game Marina Mabrey had enough, said, I want out of here. This was the game. So, folks, what I want to do, I want to shout out the New York Liberty for setting a precedent that, look, we might be on the verge of history. Folks, only 2 players have had a 20-20 game in WNBA history. Pretty pathetic, I know. But what the New York Liberty did, they said, I don't care if you're close to history. If the game's out of touch, sit your ass on the bench. Stop trying to stat pad. Stop trying to make everybody who watches these games more foolish than we already feel. And just finish the game. Teresa Weatherspoon, with a minute to spare, actually pulls Angel Reese out of the game. Shout out to Crash Out King. This is the Charlemagne the God. This is the Charlemagne the God meme of, you know what? Hey, Teaspoon benched Angel Reese when she was 1 point away from a 2020 game. Teresa Weatherspoon, come on. What changed? What's different? Did you finally realize that when it's stat padding, it kind of takes away the importance of the record? Did that finally dawn on you? Did you finally realize it's not a good look for you, not a good look for Angel, and definitely not a good look for the WNBA? So yeah, was she 1 point away? The game's out of hand at this point. 16, 17-point game, 3 minutes left. Sit your ass on the bench. Stay on the bench. We're not stat padding today. And this is all because the New York Liberty decided to put an end to the stat padding nonsense earlier in the season. If the New York Liberty didn't do that, Teresa Weatherspoon would have put Angel Reese back in the game, and we would be having a completely different conversation. We would be trashing this way much more than we already are. Delusional Chicago Sky fans, you guys are okay with the stat padding, but actual fans of not only the WNBA, basketball in general, that have some type of moral compass, some type of decency, some type of respect for the game, we understand that those double-doubles were just nasty work. Ogwumike fouling for unknown reasons just to put her points over. The Atlanta Dream fouling when the game's way out of hand just to get Angel Reese that double-double. It was pathetic, let's be honest. It was absolutely pathetic. But again, folks, every time I see these Chicago Sky games, Not only do I say, yeah, Kennedy Carter's a bowler. She's still a bowler. She was checked out, by the way. She's completely checked. I don't think she wants to be there anymore. She can he and ha and ho-he and hum all she wants. That's my dog, by the way. But at the end of the day, when we're watching her play, she didn't look as into it as she did earlier in the season. That ego is severely bruised. But if I'm Kennedy Carter, I'm also thinking to myself, why aren't I getting more run? If I'm Camila Cardoso, I'm thinking to myself, why aren't I getting more run? Folks, no way, shape, or form should Angel Reese be the only player on the Chicago Sky to eclipse 30 minutes. Unless you are trying to stat pad a little bit. Unless you are trying to take out Cardoso a little bit. So Angel Reese has a little bit more freedom to pad those stats. Unless you're trying to prove a point to Kennedy Carter. Why isn't Kennedy Carter playing over 30 minutes? Why is Camila Cardoso only playing 15 minutes? Dana Evans, 12 minutes? Diamond DeShields, 6 minutes? Teresa Weatherspoon. It's not looking too good, to be honest with you. It's looking like you're playing favorites, to be honest with you. It's looking like you're sitting down some of your better players to prop up somebody else, to be honest with you. And thank God the New York Liberty were tired of the stat padding nonsense and decided to play D on this final possession. Otherwise, this would be a completely different conversation. Is 19 and 20 good? That's good. In the swing of the game, I was rooting for a 20 and 20. I'm not a hater. I just live in the real world. Stop comparing her to Caitlin Clark. Stop propping her up to be something she's not. Stop putting her in the same conversation as all these other great players. Cut it out. Put her in her own box. She's starting her own box. But when we compare her to these players, I have no choice but to come here and start slapping these upside their head. I have no choice. I have no choice. So in the swing of things, was a 20 and 20? Did that sound cool? Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's get it in the swing of things. But there was a point where they took her out of the game. Hey, if you put her back in the game with 3 minutes left because she's 1 point away from a 20 and 20 game, that's nasty. We literally just saw Caitlin Clark dribble out the shot clock, passing up on a 30 and 10 game, 30 and 9 game. We literally just saw that. So again, shout out to the New York Liberty for deading that stat padding nonsense. So actually, this 19 and 20 game can live on its own. I'm not going to talk about the referees with these touch ticky-tack fouls, giving Angel Reese too many free throws that she maybe didn't deserve. But we've come to expect that from these dumb WNBA referees. I'm not putting that out on Front Street. Sorry, Chicago Sky fans. You guys don't get that luxury. This moment right here is what we need to say. Thank you to the New York Liberty for deading all the dumb actions to get the double-double, to get the other double-double. If that never happened, Teresa Weatherspoon is putting her back in the game. Make no mistake about it. Folks, I had no idea Marina Mabrey was that valuable to the Chicago Sky team. They look like a completely different team. They almost look like a team that's running through Angel Reese. Huh? It's a thunder right there. They look like a team that went from playing winning basketball with Kennedy Carter and Marina Mabrey doing their thing with Angel Reese playing cleanup to now being a garbage dumpster fire, what it seems like. But they beat the Los Angeles Sparks. Who gives a fuck? They suck. They're garbage. Basura. Now this team looks like they're just phoned it in. During the game, Angel Reese, do what you want to do. We're not going to pad those stats anymore, but we're going to do it in a different way. I'm not going to pad the stats by forcing you the ball. I'll just pad those stats by you being the only one that gets any type of playing time at all. Kennedy Carter, 28 minutes. Camilo Cardoso, 15 minutes. You guys want to see something crazy right here? Look. That's the plus minus right there. Angel Reese had the worst plus minus on the team, yet got the most minutes on the team. Had the worst plus minus on the team, yet got the most minutes on the team. Now, I'm not crazy when it comes to plus and minus, but when we see Camilo Cardoso with only 15 minutes, Kennedy Carter 28 minutes, it's time for me to call a spade a spade. So did they stat pad? Not really. We just tipped the scales in a certain favorable direction. And I'm here to call you out on it. 19 points, 20 rebounds. Salute. I'm glad that we don't need to spend time talking about how embarrassing this game really was because Teresa Weatherspoon decided to keep you in the game so you can get the third 2020 game in WNBA history. It's the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Appreciate all the support. Take it easy.